Hi guys, it's Harvey again. Sorry to bother you, but this is going to be part 2 of why not to buy a THOR Palazzo. I'm going to have about 50 videos on this. I bought a THOR Palazzo 36.1 and unfortunately, excuse me, pollen. But it has a beautiful, it's a beautiful coach. It's just not engineered right. So if you guys have the same problem, I go back to the factory. Just to let you know, ever since I came home, this slide, this big old hunker of a slide, A1 is run by two little teeny tiny motors made from China. Yeah. And another thing is, there must be something rusting, because I had to keep from this screw is a rust stain that keeps constantly coming up and just drips down. So the ladder, it's bought on April 1st, and the ladder is already starting to rust galore, where people don't want to walk on the rungs because the screws are so badly rusted. Alright? So, anyway, beautiful slide, beautiful idea, just misengineered. This whole big slide is run by two little tiny motors. Has a stackable washer dryer dinette system, has a room for the bedroom, TV dinette, nice, not dinette system, but nice closet space. Now you have to keep in mind, when this was bought, okay, that it had nothing in it, okay. My problem is this slide kept popping out, okay. So finally, about 3 weeks ago, a rep came by and redid it, and he had to, it's so badly out of square, the bottom gear, he had to push out almost over inch, he had to shim it over inch for the gear to hit this one, okay, so this would stop popping out. Right now, there was a THOR rep that went there and took it apart. He headed out of Dodge, the little wimp, headed right out of Dodge. I hope THOR gets this and gets a hold of him. Didn't even show me that the slide worked, just told me it worked. It never worked after he left. It bound up. Look at THOR Palazzo Do Not Buy, part 1. You'll see that it runs crooked, it binds up, and everything else like that. But this is the main history of the unit. Now, it's going to time when I get it back, it's going to have almost 5,000 miles. 0 camping time to it. Okay? It's been doing nothing but going back and forth. Finally, it's going to go to the factory. But if you run your system, this is where it's under-engineered. This little screw holds a little tiny motor about that big, and then it has a gearbox, and then it runs to a rod to the second one. Well, it constantly chews up this gear, okay, where it totally strips it out to nothing. Route 12 on the Outer Banks took 3 days to push it in. Okay, he works on the RVs. Okay, you guys can. He's excellent RV mechanic. If you're ever down in Outer Banks way, Route 12 is excellent. Okay, but the motor and everything just fell apart so badly that it all jammed against here. It took him 3 days to pull everything out by hand and get to it. Now that's what's being chewed up. But take a look at the other side. Okay, that's starting to get chewed up. So anyway, between the auto gen start not working because the factory fouled up 2 wires, the battery bank for the house blew up because they had everything miswired. One of the hydraulic jacks, passenger side hydraulic jacks, that'll be probably my next video. They put a new jack system. I don't know if they unengineered that too for the hydraulic system, but just terrible, terrible, unbelievable squeaking and rattling noise for the jack going up, if you let, especially if you let it sit for 2 days. Yeah, baby. So just to let you know, stay away from a THOR Palazzo 36.1 or I don't know if any of the Palazzos have big slides like this, but if they have a big slide, unless they re-engineered it. Now, don't let them fool you. Lippard, I forget the motor company name. Lippard. THOR claimed they didn't know that Lippard had a 6-motor system. You know what that means. Alright, they just don't want, they're cheap, they don't want to spend the money. So, in theory, what would happen, a 6-motor system would be 1 motor here, 1 motor here, and 1 motor here. You have to remember, when this is fully extended, it drops down about 1/4 inch. It just can't pull it up. It just can't, guys. There you go. Let's see if I can bring this in closer. Look at that. And it's going out of focus. But look at that. I'm sorry to say, guys, that is not wear. I mean, you can physically take the aluminum and take your fingernail and just start flicking it. Okay? And you can see it stops about midway. So this is the rear side that's been the main problem. The driver's side front has been kicking out. Well, it's been kicking out because the rep did find out, and he did make a comment. Well, it should have never left the factory. No crap, genius. Okay? It was so badly out of square, he had to shimmy it at least over 1 inch. Yeah, baby. Yeah, what a piece of pile of you-know-what. Anyway, THOR Palazzo. Well, THOR, with any big slides, be wary, be careful, and watch your money. If it has this system, and it only has 2 motors, be careful. Run the slide. Well, it may take you a week or so. But run the slide out 40, 50, 60 times. You don't want to overheat that motor because it's easy to do. But you definitely do want to, in 2 or 3 weeks, run it in and run it out 40, 50 times and see if you get this wearing. If you do, hurry up and call the manufacturer, because they are going to eventually admit that they misengineered it and have a recall. But recall is not going to do you any good, because the way they designed the system, it can't take the Lippard or Lippard, I don't know how you pronounce the motor company, 6-motor system. It's not designed for it. So even if they wanted to, you can't do it. So, where they're without a paddle up the creek right now. So guys, I'm just trying to warn other people. I wouldn't go for it right now. Any of the Palazzos or anything with the big slides. Personally, me, I wouldn't go for it. Mine's heading back to the factory to be redone after I bought it since April 1st. And it has 0 camping time. And it's going to, when it comes back to me, have over close to 5,000 miles. So, anyway, I didn't talk to him about the wear on the tires yet and everything else like that. So, anyway, just keep in mind, guys, it is a, I don't think mine's the only one out there. Like I said, run yours 40, 50 times. Like I said, take a couple of weeks. And this is the back side of the unit. And see if you get the shearing. If you get the shearing, call the person you bought it from and say, and reference this YouTube, and it needs to be fixed. You're going to have nothing but problems. So when you get stuck out there because it doesn't work, I feel sorry, guys. Anyway, guys, this is Harvey. You take care of yourselves. Just a big warning. For right now, look at other motor coaches. Take care, guys. This is part 2 of THOR PALAZZO Class A Motorhome. Do not buy. Part 2. Take care.